one operating theatre for us, and then the rest of the hospital had 5 operating theatres that they would manage, and the Ministry of Health will manage. And we were assigned as well 100 bed space, okay? This, bear in mind that European Gaza Hospital is a 350 bed originally, okay? They were having around 1,000 patients, all war related, 1,000, up and down, you know, it could be more for sure. And inside the compound, you had 10,000 people, approximately 10,000 people living inside the compound, okay? In the stairs, you have people sleeping, one person in each step. You have people in the lift living. You have people in the offices, in the corridors, everywhere, in the garden, everywhere, under the stairs, everywhere there is people. There is no space that is left empty. So it's not a hospital, it's an IDP camp, it's an internal displaced people camp. It's not a hospital anymore. Imagine the water, the toilets, okay, that it was designed for 350 people with all these people around living. Imagine the waste that was accumulated. But again, there was a system in place, and the municipality used to bring the truck regularly and collect the waste. You see, there is a system in place. Of course, that truck didn't always come the same time, didn't always come the same day. Why? Because there is no fuel, and the UN was the only organization bringing the fuel in. Yes? But it's also insecurity. The tanks, the Israeli tanks and the troops were quite close to the hospital, and sometimes they cannot come in. So when the waste accumulated, it's a risk of outbreaks, for cholera, for everything. Yes? Scarcity of resources, of course they were. No one is prepared to have 10,000 people there. Imagine, there are not all patients, but of course, you have a society that it's, you know, with non-communicable diseases, with diabetes, with high blood pressure, etc. And we didn't have any medication for non-communicable diseases, for these chronic diseases. We didn't. You know, we were having all sort of antibiotics for the weapon wounded. But we didn't have, and we didn't have the capacity to open a clinic, an outpatient clinic, as we were right now. Because we were just having barely enough for the weapon wounded people. And, you know, it's the complexities of the logistics system as well. Because in Al-Arish, quite close to Rafah border, and in Rafah, the trucks were queuing for kilometers as well, without being able to go in. And once you go in, the movements are completely, they have to be green lighted by the Israelis as well, the movements of the trucks inside the street. And if they say no, it's a lie, it's no. That's it. You see? So it adds complexity everywhere. It's complex in every way you look. So of course, the resources that you have and the supplies that you have, the Ministry of Health, they wanted the warehouses empty. Because the people were like desperate in need of things. So they didn't want to risk to have the warehouses full. So they always used to tell us, no, let's plan, and we have to organize the deliveries really carefully and really well. Because, for example, the mattresses that were coming, we had 200 mattresses coming. No, don't bring them just now because I have no capacity to distribute them fairly. I need to get the ward ready to accept the mattresses straight away. I need to get everybody ready to get the mattresses. If the mattresses stay for more than, 30 minutes outside, it will be, everybody needing mattresses. 10,000 people needing mattresses, and not only that. You see the building just there in the slide? That building is a school outside the compound. So you see, you have another 10, the Ministry of Health was saying that 10,000 people living inside the compound and 10,000 people living around the compound, the hospital compound. So imagine 20,000 people in need of clothes, of water, of mattresses, etc. So we have to be very careful, and we have to keep reminding people that we were there not with food, not with diapers, no. We were there just to take care of the wounded. And that's something that kept us going, and you know, our safety also was a concern because there is a need, and it's a desperate need. Now, another issue was that international actors were seen as a sign of protection. So people kept coming, and they thought that because we were there, we were going to protect them. So I used to tell the team, do not look up, do not point up, never point something in the sky, nothing. Don't do anything because you're always watched, and your actions have always a consequence. It doesn't matter how silly it looks, but everything, everybody's watching and everybody's panicking about it. So everything you do has a consequence. I was carrying a box in the afternoon one day from one place to the other to make sure that the team was having the supplies that they needed. And, are you leaving? Are you leaving? You're not leaving. Are you not leaving? No, we're not leaving. We are not leaving. We're staying. We're staying. So you have to keep reminding people. And one day I had a meeting at 8 o'clock with the team. We organized the meeting in the morning, and we arrived to the hospital a little bit later. We were staying in the nursing school inside the compound, okay? And we walked to the hospital every day. So one day I had to do a meeting because we had some news from the management, and we arrived a little bit later. Everybody, thought that we were leaving, and everybody was like, "You left? We thought you left." And the desperation was there. You see, so everything that we did was watched and had a consequence. It's also, and this was torture. We had Palestinian SIM cards, and everybody there had Palestinian SIM cards that didn't work most of the time, but you used to receive notification evacuations in capital letters, in star letters, and that was sent from the Israeli side. And we used to receive those messages, and they divided Gaza into sectors. The Israeli divided Gaza into sectors, and EGH, the European Gaza Hospital, was in sector 76. You receive evacuation notifications, urgent evacuation notifications that you have a time to leave before the attack, yes? So you receive evacuation notifications from sector 75, from sector 77, from sector 72, and everybody was coming running at you, asking, are you leaving? Are you leaving? This is safe, is this safe? And we keep repeating the same messages. We cannot guarantee your safety. If you don't feel safe, if you think it's safer for you to leave, leave. Leave. This is sector 76. It's not in the notification, so we keep staying. And our position was to stay for as long as we could. That was our position, and I was in constant, contact with my managers in Rafah border, and they were monitoring the situation constantly. Now, the injuries. Let's talk a little bit about the patients. We had approximately an average of 70 patients plus minus. And you would think, in a 100 bed, why would you have 70? Okay, because the discharged patients would not leave. Where would they live? They have no other way. They have no other place to go. They have no house anymore. So they were not leaving, and we had a massive problem with the discharged patients. But it's not only one patient, it's the whole family with them. And they are cooking inside the ward. And I was trying to explain to them, do not cook here! It's a fire hazard. We didn't have anything to tackle the fire. So we were trying, it was just crazy. It was an IDP camp. It was not a hospital anymore. So we have all the discharged patients, and I keep saying to the nursing, to the hospital director, listen, what do we do with the discharged patients? I have no further space and I cannot receive new patients. And he used to tell me, what do you want me to do? I have them outside here. I'm not taking them out. And of course, we're not kicking them out. Where are they going to go? It's not safe. So we have to keep reminding people that the hospital beds were for the new patients. And they could sleep on the corridors and they could sleep anywhere else. But they used to take the mattresses. So we ran out of mattresses because everybody was living with the mattress. Some